Hello, hello. Let's talk chickens today. We're going to talk about raising our chickens, or not raising hello, chickens. Hello. Let's talk chickens today. We're going to talk about our selecting chickens and then purchasing those chickens to make sure that we get the right chickens, to make sure that we get the right breeds, and to make sure that we get the exact health that we're looking for when we bring those chickens home, regardless of where we get them from. We're also going to talk about where to source those chickens for your backyard as well. But the first thing we need to talk about are the different types of chickens, the different breeds. So basically, what you're looking at is there are layers, there's meat birds, and there's hybrid chickens. A layer is going to be very good at laying eggs. A meat chicken is going to grow and be a large bird, and it's going to get to weight very quickly. And then a dual purpose is going to give you some of the attributes, some of the benefits of both. But I'm not necessarily going to be as good as a meat bird at meat or a layer at laying. But a dual purpose bird, if you want meat and eggs, could be the way for you to go. So as we just look through the different breeds of chickens, then what we must begin to think about and what we must begin to look at are all the different breeds. Now, I have a resource that'll help walk you through this. You can buy that at preparedtolive.com/homestead-chickens. We're going to put that down in the description of this later in the replay as well, a link to that. But there's going to be a chicken breed worksheet that will walk you through that, because I know that sometimes, especially just walking into like a big box store like Tractor Supply or a feed and seed store, something like that, or even on Craigslist, can be a little intimidating, and you don't know if you're getting the right answers. So we've put together a chart there for you to be able to look through that, and you're going to also see in that chart that it's going to let you know whether it's a heritage breed or a hybrid breed, and that is going to also let you know. Again, we talked in our last live about whether they're going to breed true or not. So a hybrid chicken is not going to breed true. It's going to revert back when it breeds. And then you're also going to be looking at a heritage breed chicken, which will breed true, but you're not going to get that hybrid vigor. You're not going to get that increase when you bring two breeds together for hybrid vigor. It will give you more egg production or a faster growing chicken, something like a Cornish cross chicken. It's what we get mostly in our grocery stores around here. That's a hybrid chicken that is designed to grow to weight in 6 to 8 weeks. And then it's going to have a lot of breast meat. So that's a meat bird. That's a meat chicken. But once we begin to see that different breeds are going to give us different things. So if you're looking for a layer, you may want to go with something like a Leghorn or an Australorp or a Plymouth Rock or a Barred Rock is what that is called sometimes. Those are going to be great layers. And then in that resource that we have for you over at preparedtolive.com/homestead-chickens, you're also going to be able to see additional. And then with meat birds, you're looking at Cornish cross, Freedom Rangers, a Bresse chicken, which is originally a French chicken. The meat on a French Bresse is the meat is not, but the skin is black. But it's a very good chickeny tasting chicken. And then there's Jersey Giants and some other things. Most people choose to go for a hybrid chicken because it takes some of the guesswork. You don't have to make those decisions up front. Our choice of hybrid breed chicken, number one choice is always going to be the Rhode Island Red. Grows really well in our Georgia climate, does well through the hot summers, makes it good through the winters. Of course, we don't have harsh winters, but we do get pretty hot in the summertime. But the Rhode Island Red is a great chicken. They have great personalities. They're active birds. They're fun to watch. The roosters can get a little aggressive on that side. And then probably our second favorite breed of chicken to raise, which I would throw in the dual purpose as well, is going to be a barred rock or a Plymouth Rock. Those are both heritage breed chickens, so you're going to be able to raise those things generationally. You're going to be able to just continue to hatch and to see those things continue to perpetuate as long as you want to have chickens there in your backyard. So that's really when we're selecting chickens. We want to know whether we're looking for a layer, a meat bird, or a dual purpose chicken. Now, I do want to encourage you not just to go with a dual purpose bird because you don't have to make decisions. That's kind of a bad strategy to use, because if you're never going to eat the chicken, if you're never going to harvest them for meat, if you can't look into those beady little eyes and take that life, then get a layer. It's going to just do you better. It's going to eat, it's going to consume less feed. It's going to produce more eggs for a longer period of time. So that's the way you're going to go. And then when it comes to purchasing your chickens, there's several different places that you can find your backyard chicken starting flock. There is that always useful tool, Craigslist, right? And Craigslist is going to connect you to local farms or local breeders around you. And most likely you have some that are close to you that are marketing on Craigslist. So that is Craigslist local farms. If you know somebody, that's the way to go. If you have somebody that you trust, that's always going to be the preferred way to go as a local farmer. Then the big box stores like Tractor Supply, they sell chicks. What you're going to need to do if you're going to choose that is you want to go ahead and go into a Tractor Supply store and find out when those chicks come in, when they arrive. And once you realize, or once you find out when they arrive, then you're going to plan another trip to get there, because chicks are a hot commodity right now. Growing backyard chickens have become a very hot commodity. So you want to go and make sure that you're there when those chicks arrive, when they get put out on the floor. And they're going to have several breeds of chicks that will come out as well. And in selecting that, you're going to see something that is going to say pullets, which that means you're going to get a sexed bird. It's going to be female birds is what you're going to get, or straight run. Straight run means that they're not sexed. There's roosters and hens in that little bin together, and you're not going to be able to tell the difference until they get older. You don't have to have a rooster in order to get eggs. Chickens will give you eggs without a rooster, but now you can't hatch eggs and get chickens without a rooster. So you need a rooster if you're going to raise chickens generationally. But you don't need a rooster just to get those chickens to lay eggs. So if you go into those big box stores and you're looking and you find out when they are, you go in and now you see all of these little chicks running around in these tubs. I have seen the selection process go like this many times. Rather than having studied and know what breed of chicken that you want, it kind of goes like, give me 2 of the black ones and 2 of the yellow ones and 1 of the black and yellow striped ones. And people are getting these chickens and they have no idea what they're actually purchasing. You need to go in with a goal in mind, because not all chickens are created equal. As a matter of fact, there is a breed of chicken called a bantam chicken that's just a small breed chicken. And unless you're just looking for pets, I would stay away from bantam chickens. They're just not they're just not going to really produce the eggs that you want, and they're certainly not going to grow to size that you're going to want to eat. They're going to cost you so much trying to get them up to weight, and they're just never going to get there. They're a miniature chicken. So stay away from those bantam breed chickens, because they're just not going to give you what you want. And at any point, if you have a question for me, you can drop it in the comments and let me know that you have a question. I would love to answer any questions that you have as we go through this too. So we've talked about going into we've talked about buying from a farmer, and let me go back and give you some hints there, but let me finish with the big box store. One of the things you're going to look at as all those little chicks are running around underneath those heat lamps is you want to make sure that when you select those chickens, that you're selecting those chicks that look healthy. And how do you know if a chick's healthy or not? Well, you're going to notice that most of the time they're going to kind of be grouped together underneath the heat lamp. If you see those chicks that are isolated out by themselves, they may be self-selecting, or the flock may be selecting to be apart because that chicken may have something wrong with it. You're going to check the eyes and make sure that there's no crust or mucus around the eyes. You also want to check and make sure that there's no obstruction around the vent, or that there's no feces caked, because that could also indicate a gut issue or a gut problem, and lead to illness. Another thing is you're going to want to make sure that that chick, when you're viewing it, that it's not standing with its head drooped, because that's an indication of ill health. And listen, it's not the supplier's fault that a chicken may be sick. That's the supplier can't help that. They get what's hatched. They're day old. They don't know that those chickens may have something wrong with them when they get them, but you just want to not select that. And if a bird is laying down with its head drooped down, you want to stay away from that chick too. And you want to pick the ones that seem to be full of vitality, and that are with the flock, or are bunched into that little cackle, that little group underneath that heat lamp. So that is a sign of health. Now, when you're buying from a farm, you found someone off Craigslist, you go to the farm, you also need to know what you're looking for. You don't want to just go and buy chickens. That's not what you want to do. If you go and you say, "Hey, I want Rhode Island Reds," or I want a Sussex, I want a Wyandotte," you know what you want, and the farmer will say yes or no that he has that breed. When you go to get chicks, many chicks look exactly the same. So you want to look and make sure that when you are getting those chicks, that you can also see the adult birds. Ask to see the adult birds. Look at pictures before you go, so you know what the breed of chick that you want looks like. So take a look at those birds, and then go and ask to see those production sets or those breeding sets, so that you can see the adults. And if you want Rhode Island Red chicks, and that's not a Rhode Island Red rooster, then you don't have a Rhode Island Red chick. I know that seems oversimplistic, but that is the truth. And if all the chickens are just running around together, if all the chickens are just out free ranging together, that's very healthy for the chick. That's very healthy for the chickens, but that's not healthy for you getting what you actually want, because those chicks are going to be some type of hybrid. In other words, that rooster is going to breed whatever hen is available. He's not only going to breed a Rhode Island Red. He's not going to stay. He's not going to stay just true to his breed. So you're going to get a mixed chick. And if you don't care, if you're just looking for pets, just buy whatever they have. But if you're trying to set some goals and you're moving towards a directive, and that's what we always recommend, is that you prepare, that you get a plan, and that plan will lead you to producing. And then once you've produced, you have a plan to protect the harvest that you've produced. So that's a 3-step process that we work through in everything that we do, on farm and off. That's just kind of the way we live. We want to make sure that that we have a plan, that we're producing, and that we're protecting. When we do those things in that order, it always is a harvest that lasts. So when you're looking, you're going to look for the same thing in the health of those chicks as well. Look around their eyes, make sure there's no mucus, make sure there's nothing crusted. You're going to look and make sure that they're not isolated away. They're not limping, their head's not drooping. You're going to look for those same signs of health. Now, the other way that we select or that we purchase our chicks is through an online hatchery. Online hatcheries seem like a strange thing, but I have bought lots of chicks through online hatcheries. They have great breeding stock. They provide individuals like us, homesteads, backyard growers, as well as big farms. So they have the skill and they have the breeding stock that is healthy, and they have continued to breed these lines until they have gotten the best possible offspring and chick that they can. And the way that works is you're going to go to somebody like McMurray Hatchery or to Cackle Hatchery, and they're going to be listed there. Different online sellers list them different. I know at McMurray, you're going to go in and you're going to select your chicks either by egg color or a meat chicken. Now there is no they don't have a they don't have a menu for dual purpose birds, but you can find out what those breeds are if you want to by grabbing the ebook that we have available, and you can grab that at preparedtolive.com/homestead-chickens. Homestead-chickens. You can go and you can grab that right there. It's an ebook that has that exclusive chart in it that's going to give you some structure and some direction as far as your breed selection goes. But you're going to choose those chickens. You're going to buy them. There's usually a 4 chick minimum, which you don't want to buy less than that anyway. You're going to either be able to buy all females, all males, or straight runs. Again, you don't have to have a rooster, right, to have eggs. You don't have to have that. If at any time you have a question, just drop it right there in the comments. We'd love to answer your questions and interact with you any way we can. So you're going to select your chicks, and then those chicks, you're going to select the date of shipping. They know when they're hatching. They're very good at this, and they're going to hatch they're going to ship those birds the day they hatch. They're going to send them through the mail to the post office, and then when they arrive at the post office, they're going to call you early in the morning. And you're going to have to go to the post office and pick them up. Your rural carrier, your route carrier is not going to bring those chickens and put them in your mailbox. They will not deliver them to you. You're going to have to go and knock on a door in the back, and they'll hand you your chickens out of the back of the post office. That's the way that's going to work. It's very safe buying from an online hatchery. And the reason is because there's going to be some type of guarantee with those birds. If you get those chicks and they're dead, they're going to they're going to ship you more birds. If you get those chicks and they die in the first day or two, you contact them and they will send you more chicks usually, unless it's just blatant neglect. They're going to send you more birds to replace the ones that died. So there is some safety in purchasing from your online hatchery. And that gives you great comfort knowing that. Now, if you don't know what to do yet with the chicks after you get them, if you don't know what that basic equipment looks like, if you don't know those things, grab that ebook that I've mentioned several times at preparedtolive.com/homestead-chickens. And that's going to tell you the equipment you're going to need for setup. It's going to give you the basic skills you need to start raising chickens. But here's the thing. Go ahead and start producing your own food. Things in the world. What hatchery do you suggest comes in from Mad Lexter? I'm going to go with my favorite hatchery to order from is McMurray. I've had great success, and I just love the guy's name, Murray McMurray. But I've had great success with him. But Cackle is also, I've ordered from Cackle as well. They're also very reputable, and they do a great job too. And it's not just chickens that you can get from these hatcheries. Many of them sell game birds. They sell turkeys. They sell ducks and geese and quail and pheasants. So you have a wide variety, and you know you're getting what you order as well. They're very systematic about that. So I would recommend, first of all, trying McMurray. If they're out of what you are looking for, or if their ship window doesn't work for you, then jump over to Cackle and try that as well. But once we get those chicks on the ground, then there is some skill necessary, and that book will help walk you through it. So you can grab that and listen. If you have no idea, what you're doing, invest. I think the book is $7. Invest the $7 in the ebook, and then you're going to have the confidence that when you get those chickens, you're going to be able to know what to do with them and raise a healthy flock and get that egg production underway. You know, we don't live in the same world we did just a few years ago. Supply chains are getting tighter. inflation. Things are getting more expensive. We really need to consider the reality that we may need to have our own food stored or raise our own food in order to be able to give us that peace of mind in making sure that we're providing for our families. We're in an economy that's very fragile right now, infrastructure that's very fragile. And I just think that it's wise that we go ahead right now, that we don't keep planning and waiting, but we go ahead and take those steps to start getting some kind of food production in our homes, in our backyard. Now, check your local regulations and make sure that it's legal for you to have chickens. I'm not telling you to go get chickens and end up in prison over chickens. That's not what I want for you. But just check if you don't know your local regulations, you can contact your county extension office, and your county extension office will tell you how many chickens it's legal for you to own in your state or county. You also, if you live in a neighborhood, you need to check your covenants and make sure that it's okay for you to have those birds according to the covenants of your neighborhood. And you need to start raising those chickens. It'll give you great peace of mind, can help teach your children responsibility, and they're loads of fun just to watch as their personalities develop. So guys, I've given you some information about selecting and purchasing your chicks. Next week, we're going to jump back in at some point or later. I don't know. I don't ever plan when I'm going to do these things. We just go live, and then we'll archive these things as well. You can check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com @prepared-to-live. And there's also resources, and all of these videos are archived on our YouTube channel. Well, thank you very much, Betty. She says, I know my chickens. I've done this for a long, long time. We've been raising chickens for a long time. I have grown up growing food most of my life. It's just something that I love to do, and I'm glad I know how to do it with some of the challenges that we face right here in our country. So don't let that fear and worry overwhelm you. It's cool to see this part of your life. Well, thank you, Shane. It's cool to see you joining us. I just want you to go ahead and jump out there and start raising your own food and get that security in place. You get a few chickens, and they're laying 140 calorie capsule every single time they lay an egg. That's 140 calories of survival nutrition that you can put in your body. And you can fry it, you can scramble it, you can omelet, you can do all kinds of things with that egg. So just make sure that you are jumping out there and you are starting that process of getting involved and starting that process of growing your own food. Chickens is a great place to start. Spencer says, I love my chickens. I love my chickens too. I love my chickens. I love my rabbits and my quail and my sheep and my goats. And, you know, we have resources for every single one of these things that we're going to be rolling out, because I believe that now is the time for us to get prepared. For now is the time to make sure that we don't just have enough for ourselves, but we have enough for everyone around us. My faith is very important to me. And I believe that it is our responsibility to take care of those people that can't take care of themselves. And by raising our own food, to be able to have food to distribute to our neighbors and people that don't have the resources that we have, is going to be a key thing as we continue to move forward. So guys, thank y'all so much for joining us today. We'll be breaking this content up into some shorts, so be looking for those. Listen, go ahead and share this with somebody. Go ahead and send this out. Tag somebody in this video that's thinking about chickens or that needs to start thinking about chickens. We want to be a resource for everybody that we can. All right. Until next time, guys, I will see you later, and let's just keep growing and learning together. Goodbye, everybody.